Hey, this is Robert, and thank you for tuning into the podcast. And yeah, hope everybody is doing well. It's June. I was literally about to say we are already in the beginning of June. I just can't believe that we're already about to reach the halfway point of 2024, which is wild because,
Mhm.
like, I don't know, it just felt like it was January, and now here we are in June, and it is just unbelievable. So,
Yes.
man, there's just time these days. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I guess you don't want to hear about time. You just wanted to check out what we got to offer. So today we have a very special guest. This is something that we've been planning for boy, almost an entire month now. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a while. It's been some time. So, yeah,
hmm
I'm pleased to have on our lovely special guest. This is Roz Stanley in the corner.
Hi, I'm Roz Stanley. I'm creeping out of the corner, looking around. And here I am. Yes, in June of all months. Yeah, it was January yesterday. It felt like, you know?
Man, and now here we are. Just we're about to approach what did they say? The dog days of summer.
Yes, the dog days of summer. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but I just want to thank you so much for finally this is the beginning of the month, and I guess you're
Mhm.
technically my first guest of June. So
Sweet.
way to go.
Yeah, June, here we come. Yes, yes.
Oh yeah. So I guess with all of that out of the way, I guess we could just tell us a little bit about because I know you've been hustling. You know what? I've
I
been yeah,
yes.
really really busy, so I know that this year has kind of been chaotic to say the least. So I guess to start this off, how has the actor life been for you in the year 2024?
Yeah.
Just
So
tell us what you've been up to and
2024.
all that good jazz.
Yeah, 2024 coming off of, 2023 with the strikes. Um,
Oh my
so
God. Yeah.
right, and hopefully this month, hopefully there's not another one or another two. Anywho,
Yeah, just no.
it's been good. It's been good. I Where do I begin? So last year ended really well. Really busy, really great. Ended doing a series, filming a series, and recording a scripted podcast the end of last year. So to start this year off with the bang, so to speak. A couple of weeks ago, I just got back from the Bay Area. I was filming a web series there in San Rafael. I accidentally called it San Rafael, and the locals do not like that. So,
Every time you say San Rafael, I keep thinking of the Ninja Turtle,
me too.
Raphael from TMNT.
Me too. I was like, yeah, that Ninja Turtle with the red headband. And
Yeah,
oh, that was
the red.
Chica.
Yeah, the edgy one.
Yes, yes. And he was nowhere to be found. But but yes, so I did that weekend. But yeah, good things in the works, and I can speak specifically to those. We filmed Stuffed. Stuffed is a series about human adults who cannot let go of their stuffed animals. So they go to a support group, and it is a fun time for all. People are sensitive about their stuffed animals, they're sensitive as to their attachment to them. So the only thing left to do is offend them and laugh. So that is what that series is about. It's wonderful. It's lovely. Written by the incredibly talented Timothy L. Quiris. I think I'm saying the last name right. If you look it up on IMDb, it'll be there. And it also stars Robert Michael, Jason Casera. He is the lead. And yeah, I play a couple of different characters in this one, actually. So not just one, but two, maybe three. So definitely check out Stuff when that comes out. It is a stuffed time for all. And then and Leah's Gals is the scripted podcast. You can find that podcast anywhere that you podcast. And Leah's Gals, written by Andrew Biss, he's an amazing playwright. And Leah's Gals is based off of the Shakespeare play King Lear, except it's set in modern day times in the South. And Leah, the mother of three grown adult girls, wins the lottery. And she tells her girls, okay, I'm going to give you guys this money, but tell me how much you love me. And it falls in the same vein of King Lear, if you're familiar with that story. And it is hilarious to start with, but it has a very, very tragic ending to it. So definitely keep your ears peeled for that. You can already listen to that on Spotify, Audible, Amazon, everywhere that you podcast, you can find it. Leah's Gals already.
Yeah, we'll definitely check it out once it comes out.
Yeah, it's already out actually. So it came out it's a 5 part series. So the first episode came out the end of March, and then each week after that, consecutively, the other 4 episodes came out after that.
All right, good to know.
Mhm.
But yeah, it sounds like you've been staying busy, like a lot of us.
Yeah, yeah. And another project to mention that's been making the festival rounds now, Oblivious. That is a feature-length film and written by Robert Michael. And it stars myself, but it also stars Naomi Grossman, if you are familiar with American Horror Story, Nikki Blonsky, if you're familiar with Hairspray, the musical, the movie musical movie. So a few names to throw out there. And that you can look up now. I believe it's on Tubi, Fossum, and I believe Prime. So it's a 3 different app platforms you can check it out on right now, actually. And we're winning ensemble awards, best song award. Robert Michael is also a composer, and he's just racking up the awards for that film.
Yeah, this is all just some very good stuff so far, and I haven't even gone to the questions yet. Isn't that
I
something?
know. Yeah, tell me about it. But yes, those are some things you can look up if you want to see or hear me.
Okay, yeah. I'll be sure to include them by the time this goes up at some point
Mhm.
this week, give or take. So, yeah. But with all of that said, I'm glad to know that you're still, making the film scenes. They're being shown in festivals. So I just want to wish you all the congrats in that. And
Thank you.
yeah, pretty huge.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to see when Robert sends us a different marquee or a different tag of like, oh, it won this, it won that, like at the different festivals. It's just good to see your hard work recognized.
Yeah, that's pretty much that should be like the message that we can use for today.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
just to close this out already. So, boy, yeah, with everything that you've just said, it's just kind of like, boy, working on all of these shoots and just filming a lot of these projects is like, man. So, what is something that you like to do on the side when you're not working? I guess to start off as the first
Yes.
question here.
Yes. Well, if you guys follow me on my Instagram, you will see that I do pole dancing. And I started doing that about 2.5 years ago. Started my pole journey. That's what they call it, your pole journey, basically. And yeah, couldn't do much to begin with, couldn't climb, couldn't lift myself, had some trouble swinging around. And if you stick with it, you'll be a different person, honestly. So that is something I love to do, just to go have fun. It's a hobby of mine. Like I said, coming up on 3 years of it now. I climbed 14 feet right up the pole at the studio with nothing but my bare hands and feet and knees and no other help than that. Fighting gravity, so to speak. Essentially, you're fighting gravity, but you're trying to make it look good. And all these, then the name of the game is shapes. Like you're making these different shapes. So it's therapeutic in its own right. And it is a journey. Like you have to build your strength. That's something I keep hearing from all of my instructors and pole is you got to build your strength, that type of stuff. Because there's certain moves and tricks you cannot do until you have that strength.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you really start doing those workouts or when you start a gym membership, which is what I got right now. So yeah,
Mhm.
heading back up into the gym.
Yes.
Where's my squad at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all y'all out there, I see y'all. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just kind of, it's kind of like when you're building up the muscles and building up your strength is kind of very interesting and kind of a really good way. Like that should be like something that we can apply for a day to day, every day when you're
Yes.
working, like for acting
Yes.
or when you're directing or just doing a lot
Mm-hmm.
of this other stuff that you're doing. Like
Mm.
this job can get really crazy. Like it could be really just it can be pretty grueling a lot of the time, but most of the time,
Mm.
like I think when it comes to the right amount of people on your corner, like your instructor, then it just makes each day so much easier. It really does.
Yes. Finding your tribe, like finding the people who will
Yeah.
support you. You can support them in return and just go on the journey together. That's it makes it easier to have that support group.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, like about your little journey here. So how long would you say that it really took you before you found your momentum when it comes to performing or just getting your name out there in the business?
Oh goodness, momentum. That's a good thing to have. And honestly, I feel like you create it yourself as an actor, and you just got to hit the ground running. And you can get your momentum like the day you move to wherever you're moving to, whether it's LA, New York City, Dallas, Austin, Salt Lake City, Atlanta, wherever you're pursuing what you're pursuing, you start your momentum before you even get there. I know before I moved out to LA, I was already looking at like how to like what I should do before I even get here and what I was going to do when I get here. And I was a part of a beautiful dinner theater company that did murder mysteries. And we would do them publicly at restaurants, and we'd also do private parties, like if someone wanted one for their birthday party, or we even did one for a wedding. They had a murder mystery at a wedding of all things.
Wow,
Um,
a murder mystery wedding. Hmm. You
yes,
celebrate people getting hitched? Let's play a murder mystery. Why not?
exactly.
That's the
And that
best way
and
to find out a
it
wedding.
was exactly, and it was interesting
Who's
because
the
the
culprit?
groom, yeah, the groom was supposed to be the like the
Yeah, the
one quote
so-called.
unquote killed,
Yeah.
not really killed. And some people, I know one guy, I think he was ex law enforcement. He had retired from doing something with law enforcement, and when he dropped and they were like, "Oh no, what's happening?" He kind of was like, "Wait, what?" Like he thought it was really, happening until myself and the other actors came out and they were like, "Oh, this is a show." But I started doing murder mystery in North Carolina before I moved out to LA. And because it was a national company, I just transferred to the Los Angeles cast from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I was able to have acting work when I moved out here and to go ahead and establish a community. And I'd been out here before, and it's good to have just different communities that you vibe with on different things. You might have your comedy community, your improv community, your soap opera community, your model community. Like it's good to be a part of different communities that provide different things for you as an actor, as an artist.
Yeah. So would you say that murder mysteries and being able to participate in those, that was kind of like your early, I guess, taste into the field of acting?
To an extent, I started on stage, actually in theater. I started in high
Yeah, gotta
school.
start out doing the stage stuff.
Yes, and I think that's where your best seasoned actors come from, is the stage, because
Yeah.
it's magical and it's live and it's presence. And you carry that with you into other mediums, film, voiceover, modeling, still art, TV, anything. And yeah, but I started in stage, but at the same time, I'd already been taking on camera classes. So locally in middle school. And then, so I was doing both of those and then decided to major in theater when I went to college. But again, still stayed connected to the film and TV world. And so I've just been in each world a little bit. And then as I graduated college, I worked professionally as an actor, mainly in children's theater and murder mystery dinner theater. Yep, there's a lot of crossover there. You learn a lot in both. And yeah, just always stayed connected to improv, film, TV, everything like that. And lo and behold, murder mystery became a part of my acting repertoire, if you will. And yeah, pursued that,
Repertoire.
did that for yeah, my repertoire. And
Potato, potato.
exactly. And yeah, so I did that for a good two, almost 3 years. And you learn a lot. You're improvising. You're going from like basically an outline, and the actors make the show. You have your story, you have your mystery, you know who done it and all that stuff, but your audience doesn't. And so you got to keep it like fresh for them, even though you've done that show 20 times already that month.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of when I actually started getting a taste of doing, live stage performances and stuff. And
Mm,
but I mostly did like music choir and what have
mm,
you. And
mm-hmm,
that was kind of like my first, I guess,
mm,
exposure, or my first taste into performing. So
right.
um, I remember just really liking it so much, and being a kid who's like kind of like sort of introverted, and I feel like a lot of us who are kind of like somewhat introverted or slightly awkward are the ones that are kind of like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should do acting. This seems fun. So that's kind of what happened. And then I studied a lot of improv, when I
Mm,
first started voiceover. And well, voice
yeah.
acting has kind of always been something I wanted to do, but it kind of wasn't
Mm,
until like maybe a few years ago, I was kind of like, you know what? I've watched a lot of this stuff growing up, played so many video games, and watched so much media, film, and I'm just like, you know
mm,
what? Maybe I should. I know that I've definitely got the skills to pull it off, so let's
right.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that light bulb.
Yeah, exactly. The light bulb clicks, the light bulb comes on, and you're like, oh, okay. Follow the light, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so for you, when did that light bulb kind of just click for you?
Oh, gracious.
The acting bug. Yeah.
Early on, if you will. So, uh, about like 13, 14. And it wasn't like the clearest thing to me though, because myself and a group of my friends, when we would always get together for sleepovers or birthday parties, we would always end up singing. And we would make like basically my friend in her room, her bed, we would make that the stage. And each of us would pick a song and we'd perform the song. And we would see who would get first, second, and third place. And that was fun because I was performing a song for my friends. And then I was like, wait a second, can I do this elsewhere? Can I like do this, in other places and perform and such? And so from there I asked my mom if I could take acting classes. And she signed me up with a a former casting director who used to cast the original Magnum PI in Hawaii with Tom Selleck. That casting director, Florette Broadwater, had moved to Lexington, South Carolina, where I was born and raised. And I took on camera classes with her while doing theater at school.
Man, that is so amazing. Like the original Magnum PI.
Yes, 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 exactly. And I didn't know the show, but when my mom found out, she was like, "Oh my God, that's my favorite show. Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like we got to get you signed up with her. And I was like, "Okay." Because I just wanted to act. It didn't matter to me, at that time, like who was teaching it. But obviously, as you grow as an actor, it matters who you learn from. So, and luckily, I've been able to learn from some just amazing, amazing coaches. And I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, started that way. And here I am today.
Yeah, right on. So, here's a fun question. Where do you
Yeah.
often find inspiration from when it comes to acting or just you as a person? Where do you draw the inspiration from?
I think you can draw it from within and outside of you. And I think it's pertinent to where you are as a human being at that time, and just like what your life is like while you're studying that role, if you will. And if you're going through something but your character is not, or vice versa, you can always go, oh wow, understanding and relating to where they're at, and then finding that inspiration. Sometimes that inspiration is deep within. Sometimes that inspiration is a leaf falling from a tree or a butterfly flying around you. It can be found in so many different places, but I think when you truly look within yourself, you discover things that you can bring to the role. And when you look outside of yourself, you can bring things that aren't within you to that role too.
Yeah. So growing up in your childhood, how would you say that the whole environment was like for you?
Very creative. My mother really encouraged creativity. And I was looking actually through some childhood photos the other day. We were just encouraged to think outside the box, be our own person, just like from a very young age. Like I would take stickers and basically place those on wrapping paper. And I'd be like, Mom, here's a skirt. Mom, here's a shield. Mom, here's a hat for you. And we would make masks out of construction paper, anything we had. It was time to use our imagination. But as a child, like we're not being told, hey, go use your imagination. We just do it naturally. And the thing is to keep using that imagination as you grow up, as you become an adult.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, it's the imagination and also just being really physically and not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally just prepared
Hmm.
for anything. So,
Hmm.
because sometimes you could get there's a lot of unexpected stuff that could come up, and we kind
Yes,
of have all those days where it's like, oh my gosh, wow, okay, so that just happened. Improv. So, yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing. We're improvising every day. Like you and I, we're improvising right now. Like
literally, this my whole podcast. Watch some of the interviews that I've already did. These are all literally like, okay, just something that just came up on the spot. Okay, we could just go on a
yes,
conversation about that, and then we just, ramble on for like what 10, 20 minutes.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think because a lot of people are like, oh, improv, I've never done that, or oh, improv, I might not be good at that. I'm like, you are improvising
You have
every
to,
day.
yeah. That, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Like you ran into somebody at the store you didn't think you were going to. You didn't have anything planned. You didn't have a script of what you were going to say to them. It just came out. It just came up. Like, I mean, people improvise every single day. Everybody has improv experience. They just don't realize it.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty. You see here, we're getting into the deep talk, the TED talk of the day.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So making the move to LA, how would you say that? Because I know you kind of elaborated a little bit about that earlier, but would you say
Mhm.
that moving to LA was like the best decision that you've made for your career thus far?
I would say it has been one of the most beneficial, yes, decisions for my career. When I was thinking of moving, so I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina at the time, and they had just taken like the tax like type thing away, where basically places from LA would come and film in Charlotte to get a tax break, essentially. And then the state of North Carolina cut that, did away with that because, people who make the laws aren't always the smartest people. So they cut those laws away. So productions were coming from LA. They're like, oh, we have to find a new place to film because we don't get a tax break anymore in North Carolina. So it was either Atlanta or LA for me at the time. And I said, let's just go to LA. I had already had friends out here. I knew I could transfer to the LA cast for the murder mystery job. I said, let's go all the way. And yes, it has been one of the best decisions I've made. I wish I'd made it sooner.
Yeah. I mean, I always say it's never too late.
Exactly. Exactly. It's never too late because when I got out here, there were so many more people from different walks of life and that were older than me who had come out here and they were telling me their testimonies of coming out here later in life. And I was like, cool, this never too late. Go when you go. It's never too late to start a new journey, start a new dream, pursue something. Truly, the time is now.
For sure, for sure. So I guess with all of this acting training that you got, was that also how you kind of you kind of started diving into the world of voiceover?
Yeah, well, actually, I I met this amazing actor, Adam Pilver, before the pandemic at a talent manager workshop. And him and I ended up being paired up to work with each other because it was one of those workshops where you don't get paired up until you get there. And they're literally like, okay, you don't have a partner, you go work with so and so. Like it's just right place, right time. And so we'd connected on Facebook and such and stayed in touch for the reasons of like, hey, if you find something out about acting, let me know, vice versa. And I'd seen when the pandemic hit that he was taking voiceover classes through a newly established voiceover training called Voiceover Camp. And I was like, what is this? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. And he sat down with me on a Zoom call for like a good hour. And he'd already been doing it for a year. And then, and I was like, okay, I got the information from you, settled into a few things. And I did like their intro course and then did their commercial course, like their intro course where you find out about, like, you just get a big taste of what voiceover could be in your life and what that world is like. And then you take the different courses, and I've just been going with training with them ever since. And yeah, lo and behold, like I said, I have the scripted podcast. I also do um, romance and fantasy erotic audiobooks under a pseudonym, Scarlet Valine, if you guys are into that stuff. And
Oh boy.
yeah, my first booking with that was a 10 book series called Country Mage. Um, and I auditioned and I thought it was just 3 books. I was like, oh, it's a 3 book series. Cool. This will be done. This will be done soon. Oh, here's another book from the same series and another and another. And I finally had to say, how many more books are coming? And they're like, yeah, we're doing 10. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, not a bad problem. This is a good thing. So yeah, and I'm just continuing on and hoping for good things.
Dope. And you also do audiobooks.
Yes. Yes, that's another foray into voiceover that I feel like has expanded. Like that world, audiobooks, from what I've learned, is in all other realms, there's so many more actors than there is work. In audiobooks, that's not the case. There's too much work and not enough actors for audiobooks. So it is a great industry to be a part of.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about how voiceover camp has been instrumental for getting your getting your feet wet into the world of VO.
Yes, yes. So one of the things I love, a lot of things about voiceover camp. One of the things I love is their motto to fail fearlessly. And I think that it just it you take risks. You feel safe taking a risk, albeit hopefully calculated, if you will, but you take a risk because you have the information to make a choice. The information has inspired your imagination to make a choice with that copy, with that character, with that script, and you pursue it. Because if you don't commit to it in acting, if you don't commit, it's just not going to land. And you can commit and have it not be the strongest choice, and someone might go, wait a second, we're on to something. And if you, or they might go, okay, love the commitment, we totally see what and hear what you're doing, we want to go in a different direction. But you have to commit, even just to get that far of like, okay, we don't want to go in that direction, let's turn this around and do a different thing with it. But to commit and to fail fearlessly, that's how you that's how you go places, that's how you discover, that's how you let go. So I think fail fearlessly, that's been the one of the biggest things that voiceover camp has taught
Yeah. Because you see it all on their Instagram, which totally follow them on social media.
me. Yes.
I'm a fellow voiceover camp. I guess alumni at this point. I don't know. But yeah. I really think that voiceover camp is also a great resource when it comes to failing fearlessly because you get in, you might think, oh my gosh, I think I kind of screwed up the take, but they're like, no, no, that's good, but here's what you could do to make it better. This is pretty much what it's like when you're coaching with Chrisia or Stephanie or Scott or Jeff or whoever. There's so many names that I could just say here. So many fellow students and other actors and so many that I've met from this community. So I just want to say that y'all rock and yeah, just totally want to totally not plugging y'all, just giving you a shout out right now. But yeah, I really do believe that it is a great resource when it comes to like you mentioned, just failing and because a lot of actors, a lot of us, like, I mean, myself included, are just kind of like, oh, but what if I fail at this one? It's like, honestly, if you're
Mm,
failing, that kind of is a good thing because it just leads you to something that could be even bigger down the line. You just never
yeah,
know. Like I said, this industry can be pretty unpredictable, and you never know what's gonna be. It's like
yeah,
Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump. You know, it's like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're gonna get.
you
Yeah, I
don't.
can't believe I mixed those two.
I mean, they're similar, right?
Yeah,
They're same genre, same tone, right?
I mean they came out in the same year, believe it or not.
Hey, there we go. Hey, there's a commonality there.
Yeah,
And I think also with like voiceover, TV, commercial, film, theater, they all really do cross over. It's all acting. It is different mediums, but it is all acting. And I think, as people cross over in mediums, they'll go, wait a second, this stage stuff, that's helping me do my camera stuff. Wait, this camera stuff, that's helping me with my voiceover stuff. Wait, this voiceover stuff is helping me with my everything connects, you know?
yeah. It's like kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, you know? It just kind of once you start building those little foundations and all the little pieces together, then everything just kind of it just hits you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. It's good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, so apparently you're also teaching theater for kids, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I also do directing, writing, and then
Yeah, kids background
choreography.
theater classes for neighborhoods and
Yes, yes, exactly. Yes, that is something that started during the pandemic, just with different learning
the
pods and such.
pandemic.
Yes, yeah. Do you remember that? Um,
Wait, what pandemic though?
and with neighborhoods, cul-de-sacs, they'd be like, okay, we have like amongst the neighborhood kids, they'd have 10 or 15 kids. And they didn't have to go far from home. They didn't even like drive. They would just walk with their parents or whomever, and walk down to the house I would be teaching at, and we would gather. We would do our warm up, our acting exercises. We'd do our rehearsal. I would write the show for them. I would choreograph the dances, and it'd be a backyard theater class. And that's how that started. And it just continued, honestly, out of the convenience of it all. I was like, oh, we just go to so and so's house and we have class every Thursday at 4. Cool. We'll do that. So, yeah, that's how that started.
That is so awesome. And apparently you've also got into writing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I don't have anything out there right now, but it is something I've ventured into. I've done some freelance article writing. I've written for some craft blogs, cat blogs, those sort of things. So writing is also another way to exercise your imagination, and that inspires my acting as well.
Yeah, because being a creative in so many different fields can also expand your wealth. It can also expand your knowledge.
Yes, and knowledge as well,
Oh,
you
totally.
know? So it does expand, expand your opportunities and
Yeah.
such. And I think, that's something just as an actor, being able to write your own just thoughts and poetry or journal entries, diary stuff. We write those as actors and characters all the time. So it's a way to get your information out, to see it, and then to be inspired by it and use that information in your acting.
Yep. And I gotta ask, are you still searching for that perfect mac and cheese?
Okay, okay. So I found some really, really great mac and cheese at Granville, the restaurant Granville. They put jalapenos in their mac and cheese, and that is life changing. Jalapeno. And
Oh,
cheddar,
bro, why are you making me hungry, bro?
it's so good. Jalapeno mac and cheese, yeah, that is the best mac and cheese I've had so far.
I want to try some.
Yes, Granville. Go to Granville. They have so many locations across LA. So good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's see. I guess we might as well just say our farewells or just close out this part. We may do another one of these because there's still so much that we haven't even touched. We just kind of barely scratched the surface. I mean, to be fair, that's what I mean. That is the life of a working actress and voiceover
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll probably continue this in the next part on another day. But I guess
Okay.
for right now, we might as well just say our farewells in another meeting link. I don't know, but
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
been a
until
pleasure.
oh yeah, yeah. So with that said, stay tuned for our, I guess, goodbyes
Part two.
and yeah, part two coming shortly. So until then, adios. And
Bye.
yeah, I guess. Oh, looks like I got a fan in the corner. Yeah, we
There we
got
go.
somebody answering the
There's your
phone.
sign.
There's my sign. Yeah, we got a caller. Who are you and what's your name? Why are you on the air? But anyways, until then, I'll see you all in the conclusion, I guess. So yeah, see you all in a little bit. Later. Alrighty, so we're just about to wrap this up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is something that you wanted to Oh, yeah, yeah, because you've already talked a little bit about what you've been working on. I'm just gonna plug these once again. Oblivious, Jane, be sure to check them out. And a lot of the other stuff that you've also been, kind of dabbling into. And where can people check out yo stuff and yeah, can be able to find out more of your work and
Yes. Yes. So for
stuff.
me, for Roz Stanley, that is my Instagram,
That is
and
me.
and I'm not on Twitter or X, whatever you might want to call it, as much, but my Insta and YouTube, you can find Hey Roz, it's me. And that's that. If you want to follow my pseudonym, if you're into the romance erotica arena, you can follow me on both X and what is that? Instagram for Scarlet Bailey. So yeah, that's where you guys can find me and stalk me. And I'm kidding, don't stalk me. That's where you can stay up to date on stuff.
Yeah, yeah, right on, right on. And any last bit of advice?
Do what you love. Do what you love. There's too many people out in this world doing what they've been told to do or what they think is safe and right. Do what you love.
Yeah. Boy, we could just talk about like so many different topics like musicals, your more of your theater work, but I guess we'll
Mm,
probably save that for another day and more
yeah.
gymnastic stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll probably do like a gym because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've really done an episode like that before. So,
Mm-hmm.
because I've talked about fitness a lot, so maybe we'll just choose some ideas.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, I'm all in, baby. So, yeah, and I guess for your final words, what would you like to leave us out with?
I would say make the most of every moment. Make the most of every moment, even if it's going downhill. Make the most of it. Turn it around. Do something that just where you find the beauty in it and you pursue that. Make the most of every moment.
Amen to that. Yeah. Um, I think we also found our perfect closing for for this episode. Yeah, and for the outro, I guess all I can say is just do it.
Yes, exactly. Action is good. Taking action is good.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I also do the thing where I have the guest say, "Hey, my name is so and so. I do
Okay.
this, and thank you for watching or tuning into the Station Square podcast or whatever."
Station Square Podcast. Okay. All right. Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah, go right on ahead, and we're live.
Hi, I'm Roz Stanley. I'm an actress and writer and voiceover actor. And thanks for having me on the Station Square Podcast.
We did it. And we all
Yay!
did it in one
Good, good,
take.
good.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And within the right timing too. So
Oh, for
it's
show,
good.
for show. Yeah. Once again, you can check out Oblivious on KVVB. That should be coming out on
It's
July.
already out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's actually out on Prime, Fossum, and Tubi.
gotcha. And for Jane, that should be. It is an official entry for the LA Shorts International Film Festival, so definitely be sure to check that out as well. And
Hmm.
you have so many great stuff that you're working on, and I really wish we could talk more into detail, but there's always next time. And the summertime is always. We're almost there, and we're gonna be looking forward to, as well as dreading, the miserable heat here in LA. Oh boy, I'm sure totally looking forward to that. So, regardless, yeah, but it's all good though, because we could just have our ACs and whatnot and sweat in the
Hmm.
booth, just get our workout in, and
Yes, exactly.
physical fitness, yeah, intense sessions.
Yes, yes.
But
Mm.
anyways, this is Robert. Thank you for tuning on. Thank you for watching the show, and thanks for all of the support. And be sure to check out Roz Stanley on social media and her website and everything. And feel free to check out more of her work once it comes. And any upcoming projects that she's doing, keep up to date on IMDb or her website, whichever floats. But
Yes.
anyways, I think that's about it for me. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned next time on Station Square. And until then, good evening, good day, goodbye, and good night. Fare thee well. Peace. Love y'all. Bye.